You, yeah. I'm talking to you, blood. I need you to hit the like button. Yes, what's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. We are back this morning. I need you to hit that like button. We're going to be diving in, looking at the latest news surrounding Arsenal Football Club a little earlier than usual. 11 o'clock. I think 11 o'clock is going to be the new time for the streams in the morning and the updates from Monday to Friday. But we are here, ladies and gentlemen. I've got a barber appointment, so that's the reason why I'm actually doing this earlier. They could only fit me in at 1 o'clock. So if I'd done this at 11:30, I wouldn't have made it. So here we are, 11 o'clock. But I am literally considering doing the live streams Monday to Friday in the mornings at 11 o'clock. Do comment down below. Let me know if that time suits you. And let's dive into this. Make sure we are hitting the like button. Do subscribe. All of that. Big up my guy, Q Wizzy, but I found this in the wardrobe this morning. I thought, let me just chuck it on, man. Represent my brother from another mother. Free Q Wizzy. Yeah, free him. Because I ain't seen him. Yeah, I heard from him the other day, but we ain't seen you, bro. We need you back on the scene. We need our guy, the fraud father. We need him back. Yeah, we need him back. I'm going to do the best I can. Ladies and gentlemen, to try and get Q back on the screens again, because we miss him, man. We need him. Make sure we are hitting the like button, man. Hit that like button for Q Wizzy as well, bro. We need him. Free Q Wizzy, bro. Yeah. Big up every single one of you in the building. A few interesting stories that we are going to be diving into. We've kind of spoken about this over the past couple of days. Benzema, we do know Xavi Simmons, another player that Arsenal are serious about at this moment in time, according to the latest reports. But where are we? You know, we're talking about where's Hugh. Where are we? Where is Arsenal Football Club at this moment in time? I don't know. I can't see you, blood. I can't see you, man. And it's really, really frustrating. The 19th of January, still no real concrete information about who's leaving and who is coming. We don't actually know. Is there a plan? You know, we do know Cedric is on the verge of leaving. The Six Taps look like they're going to be signing Cedric. Mohamed El Neni apparently should be leaving when he comes or returns from AFCON. But who else is going to be leaving? Is anyone else going to be leaving? I don't think so. The players are back from Dubai. We go to Crystal Palace tomorrow, 12:30 kickoff. It's an interesting game. I'm looking forward to it. And Arsenal better get 3 points, bro. 3 points. No excuses. You've done Dubai. You've had hot summer weather. Yeah, whole family's been over there. No excuses. No excuses, ladies and gentlemen. We need results on Saturday, and we better get something done in this transfer window, because we are going to get left behind if we don't. Big up Asa. He says Edu is on the jet. He's on the jet ski. He's on the jet ski with a barbecue with him. He's got the barbecue on the jet ski. Imagine that. We ain't buying or letting anyone go, says Sergio. Big up Tudor. He says the fan base needs him in regards to Benzema or Xavi Simmons. Who are you referring to? Do let me know. Big up my guy Adam Lee in the building. We appreciate you each and every time. He says my daughter of 4 years old came in this morning calling herself Wax. I kid you not, bro. I'm inspiring your daughter. She wants the best for Arsenal Football Club. She's keeping the standards high. Big her up, man. Big her up, man. Much appreciate you each and every time, Adam. Big up Russell in the building as well. I see you. Abdullah, I appreciate you. We've got Super Peps Cone, man. He knows exactly what we need. Give you at the back. Eddie in attack. Arsenal on the way to Europa Conference League. Oi. Yeah, that's a mad one. Listen, yeah, we got things that we need to be doing. What is Edu doing right now, man? It is questionable. It is absolutely questionable. Let's dive into the latest news anyway. What we got going on here, man? I haven't even prepared the headlines, I have to be honest. We've got Yuri and Timber outside the Emirates Stadium. I thought he was giving out turkeys, but he's not. He's not giving out turkeys. I think he was giving out football boots. Football boots. But this is interesting. Let me bring this on. Let me put this on the screen. Make sure we are hitting the like button. Do subscribe. All of that type of stuff. We're only going to be here for about 45 minutes, maybe even less than that. I seriously don't want to run late to the barbers. I actually got a busy afternoon as well. I'm also trying to organize a stream for later on this evening. Trying to get a few guests on the channel this evening, and I want to do the panel. I want to do the panel stream this weekend as well. So, and that's for the WhatsApp community. So, if you want to be a part of our panel streams, to have your say, then make sure you join our WhatsApp group. But we will be doing a panel stream this weekend, probably after the Crystal Palace game. But I want to try and make something happen tonight, give you guys a little Friday night vibe, bro. A little Friday night party, going into the weekend, early waking up early tomorrow, big game at 12:30. I've got various other things that I need to do. Listen, Arsenal better not spoil the weekend, bro. I tell ya, they better not spoil the weekend. Anyway, let's look at this. So this is extremely interesting. I want to bring it to your attention, of course, because there's no Arsenal players in there. There's no Arsenal players in there. Oh, I wish there was, but there isn't. No Arsenal players whatsoever. But Xavi Simons is in there. And Xavi Simons is doing bits this season, has been doing bits. And it's a player that Arsenal are looking at. But we want our players to be on this type of list, Come on. We need our players on here. You've got flipping Guirassy on here. Bloody hell. And this is the top 10 and the top 5. New name stands at the top of our list of the highest rated players in the top 5 European leagues. So these are the highest rated players in the top 5 European leagues, and it's the top 10. We've got Mbappe sitting at the top, Bellingham, Harry Kane, Sane's in there, Rodri's in there, Guirassy is in there, Mo Salah is in there, Grimaldo's in there. It's having a stormer of a season at Bayern Leverkusen at the moment. Xavi Simons is in there, and Lautaro Martinez is in there. I wish an Arsenal player was in there. Man. But Xavi Simons is a player that we are looking at, and for him to be in the highest rated players in the top 5 leagues this season is showing that he is definitely a qualified player. We already know about Xavi Simons. We've done the eye test. We've seen him play against us. The guy has got bags of quality. And I think he suits our team. I wouldn't say the system, perhaps, because I think the system is not working as effectively as it should be at this moment in time. But in terms of the profile of players that we have at this club, I think Xavi Simons is that don. He's someone that will come in and take us to the next level, improve the likes of Saka as well. When you've got a player like Xavi Simons that's just leveling up every single week in training on the pitch, how can you be falling behind? You can't. You need those type of players to keep you on your toes. And right now at Arsenal, do we have an influential player that can keep Saka on his toes? No one. We actually saw Jesus as that player. And of recent, especially this season, Jesus hasn't really been leading, nor has Zinchenko. They've both kind of fallen off in terms of that leadership, mentality that they brought to the club initially. I'm not really seeing that from Jesus and Zinchenko. Haven't seen it this season, to be quite fair. I've probably seen more fire and more heart and more desire from Declan Rice. He's probably the guy out of everyone that's really been... And, there's no surprise there. He's £100 million, playing for Arsenal, new platform. He's catapulted his, social status. That's what's happened here for Declan Rice. So, he needs to keep those standards up. And that's why you're going to see Declan on a week-to-week basis putting in 7s and 8s. Saliba can also be put in that category. Gabriel Magalhaes, to a degree, can also be put in that category. But everyone else seems to have fallen off. Everyone else seems to be like, I don't know. They're not the same player. And then they haven't got players that are going to keep them up to the standards that we had last season. We haven't brought in the right players this season, other than Declan Rice, to really give them that kind of encouragement, that oomph. We're not getting that. You're not going to get that from David Raya. You're definitely not getting that from Kai Havertz. You know what I mean? So who are you getting it from? Xavi Simons definitely will come in with fire in his belly, will come in and want to prove himself. He's only 20 years old, 21 years old. And I think this is the type of player a Saka needs. This is the type of player a Martinelli needs, not a Kai Havertz, not even a Trossard. Big up Trossard, he has been good, but not this season he hasn't. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man. The players on this list, when you're looking at the players on this list, for me, Guirassy would be questionable, but he has, done fantastically well. But when you're looking at the players on this list, I'm signing all of these players for my first team. All of them. I'm signing Mbappe. We all will. We're signing Jude Bellingham. We all will. We're signing Harry Kane. We're signing Sane. We're signing Rodri. Them players are in this top 10 for a reason, bro. These are winners. These are the type of players you want to be identifying. These are the type of players that you want to be attracting. Remember, we was heavily linked with Grimaldo at one point. Remember Grimaldo, when he was at Benfica, he was going to come to Arsenal. He was going to be the player that we signed over Zinchenko. Now, based on what he's doing so far and what he has done so far for Bayern Leverkusen, I would have probably preferred Grimaldo or even both Zinchenko and Grimaldo. Now we've just got Kivior. What's Kivior doing? He can't even play at left back. Tierney out on loan. So you're telling me we don't even have a left back because Zinchenko is not even a left back, you know? But Grimaldo is a quality player. He was providing numbers over in Portugal. Obviously, it's questionable because it's Portugal, but he's gone over to Germany and, you know, continue contributing numbers. And you can just look at Grimaldo's game. He's a proper attacking fullback. Left wing back. We should have signed him as well, man. Then you've got Lautaro Martinez, another player that Arsenal fans deemed not good enough. Not good enough. Lautaro Martinez, apparently. He's not good enough for Arsenal. Nah, we can't sign him. And here we are. He's in the top 10, man. So these are the type of player that you want to be identifying. You know, you want to be looking across the board and saying, all right, cool, who's in the top, who's the top 10 right now? You know, if you're big bad Arsenal, all right, cool, we've done it with Declan Rice, because Declan Rice could have been in that top 10 in terms of, I don't know, ball progression, ball carries, ball progression, all of those type of data, all that type of data there. When you're looking at all of that, Declan Rice could have been top 10, top 5. So yeah, signing Declan Rice, well done, big man thing. Like, it made sense for us. But what else is making sense? These are the things that we need to be looking at and identifying in order to improve this club, man. You know, we can't expect to go and sign, you know, Dominic Calvert-Lewin or Dominic Solanke and expect that to improve what we're trying to do. You know, if it ain't a Michael Elise, if it isn't an Eze, or if it isn't one of those young type of players, then these homegrown dons are not worth it. We don't want homegrown dons. We don't need Dominics and you know, Ivan Toney can make an exception, but I want Ivan Toney now. I don't want Ivan Toney in the summer. I don't want Ivan Toney in the summer. The strategy needs to be get Ivan Toney now, help him get us over the line, help us get over the line, this season, get rid of Eddie in the summer, and then bring in a big striker in the summer. In my opinion, it needs to be Dusan Vlahovic. Dusan Vlahovic needs to be the striker that we bring to this club. This guy he's got it all. He's got everything that we need for this system as well. For our other players, the runners that we have, Dusan is the player that we need. He is levels above Houseman. Levels. Don't even tell me about Victor Houseman, bro. Obviously, I appreciate Victor, but the type of money that they're asking for, no way, man. He ain't that type of don. He ain't that type of don. You know, that will be Nicolas Pepe all over again. Let's be honest. He's done well for Napoli, but you know, when I'm comparing the two players, I'm looking at Dusan Vlahovic. That's who I want. And I'm not taking anything away from Victor Houseman. I do like Victor, but you know, when I'm actually really studying his game and really analysing him for the player that he actually is, he's not really that don. Do you understand? He's not really that don. And coming to the Premier League, it might be a madness for him. He might need to be that cherry on top for a team. Do you know what I mean? That's how it might have to work with him. If you ain't got the cake, then there's no point getting Houseman because it ain't gonna work. But Dusan Vlahovic is totally different. Dusan Vlahovic isn't the cherry. Dusan Vlahovic is a part of that. He's everything. You know them way there. This guy's a versatile attacker, and offers you so much more than just scoring goals. So that's why for me, Dusan Vlahovic needs to be the answer. Of course, for Juventus, it hasn't been overly great, but there's context there, and that should be the strategy for me. Ivan Toney, and then we'll have Ivan Toney and Dusan Vlahovic for next season going back to back for that number 9 position. We'll then just move Jesus out on the right. We'll sacrifice a Trossard in terms of selling. We'll sacrifice a Reece Nelson in terms of selling. And then we use Jesus in one of those type of positions on the left or the right. Do you know what I mean? Or even as a number 8, whatever it may be, because I think Jesus will play well as a number 8. But that needs to be the strategy. We need to figure out something now to get Ivan Toney done. Someone made a point in the chat yesterday, and I think what we have to do is if we can somehow get an injection from KSE, or if we can somehow move money from somewhere and put it on the David Raya deal, then there could be a chance of us negotiating a deal with Ivan Toney and getting him on loan with the obligation to buy. He will be returning tomorrow, Ivan Toney, that is. You know, Brentford are promoting him hard, new video every day. There's like they can't wait for the return of Ivan Toney. Like, they can't wait. And right now they've got Wissa in AFCON. They've got Mbueno, or whatever his name is, Mbuemo. I can't even pronounce his name. I call him Embueno, like the chocolate. Is it? Oh, no, what's that? Is that called Embueno? It's not called Embueno. Is it? What's it called? I don't even know. Kinder Bueno. Kinder Bueno. There we go. Bloody hell. Flipping. What am I saying? What am I saying? What am I saying? I totally forgot what I was saying. Imagine that. Hay fever meds kicking in. No, but if they obviously they've got that guy out injured, so with him out injured, they're gonna need Tony, aren't they? They're gonna need Tony. That's the only stumbling block for Arsenal right now. Arsenal won't be able to get it done if Brentford ain't got a real replacement. Yeah, he's injured. That's what I'm saying. He hasn't come back. I was looking at it the other day. I think he comes back in March. He should be returning in March. Yeah, talking about injuries, we've got a good update on Yuri and Timber, who supposedly should be back. He supposedly should be back in February, so we could have Yuri and Timber back next month. Flavic is decent. I think his presence up front will be completely different to Jesus. Proper target player to make runs off. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. With Dusan Flavic, he can play multiple roles in that number 9 position. He could be the target man. He could be the false 9. He could be, he could be any one of those type of descriptions, because he's a versatile type player. I mean, we saw the goal that he scored the other day, man, for Juventus. Bad boy free kick. You ain't seeing free kicks like that. I can't remember the last time Arsenal scored a free kick. In fact, we've meant to score most of our goals through set pieces this season. You know that. I mean, what team usually scores most of their goals through set pieces? It's like a team that are playing for set pieces. Usually a team at the bottom of the league that don't really have a great way of playing, so they need to rely on set pieces to see them through. So I don't know why Arsenal are carrying that type of mentality. It doesn't make any sense to me. But we scored most of our goals from set pieces. However, I can't remember the last time we scored a free kick. So, like, what is going on? We don't really have a free kick taker. Who is our free kick taker? Odegaard? Like, Jorginho? Saka? Like, come on, man. How can you be 4 years into a process and you don't have a free kick specialist, but you're trying to play for set pieces? Make that make sense. That makes sense. That's what I'm saying. None of the project, when you actually try and connect all the decisions, all the dots, and all the things that are apparently meant to go together, they don't make sense. They don't actually make sense. Like playing controlled possession football, but they're not knowing how to control the tempo of the game doesn't make sense. How can a team be known for playing control possession football? You control possession, but somehow you don't know how to control the tempo. You don't know how to switch it up. You don't there's no switch. Everything's just slow, lethargic all the way until the 18-yard box, until we finally realize, oh, they've low blocked us. Well, duh, you're the reason why they've low blocked. The transition is slow. The build-up is slow. Everything's so slow. You're allowing them to low block. So there's no surprise there when people come out and say, oh, well, teams are playing differently against us. No one's playing differently against us. It's Arsenal playing differently in general. That's what's happening. We're controlling possession, but when we get in the ball to the halfway line, we're not switching it up. We're not raising the tempo. We're not trying to do something different. We're just passing it to Saka, passing it to Martinelli, and hoping that their acceleration, their pace, and their ability to dribble the ball is gonna be able to, or be enough to get ourselves in a position of scoring. That's all it is. It's relying on those basic patterns, basic patterns to actually get ourselves goals. Now, there has been a few patterns under Mikel Arteta that I've seen. I'm like, you know what? That's what I want to see. Like the other day when we played, there was a moment where Saka, Odegaard, and I think someone else, it might have been Kai Havertz, they tried to connect just by touching the ball one touch. I think the guys in the WhatsApp group will remember when I said, oh my God, that's what I want to see. That's the football I want to see. I want to see more of that. Don't try that one time in a whole 90 minutes. I want to see you try that pattern 4 or 5 times every fucking 5 minutes. Do you understand? Like stop, like keep penetrating, bro, and keep using those type of patterns. Because what you're gonna do is you're gonna derail the defense, you're gonna open up the door, and you're gonna find the goal. But if you continue to go to that same old cross the ball into the box, cross the ball into a box, or come on, bro. It's just shit, man. Teams are going to nullify that. Teams are going to shut that down. And it's one of the reasons why we've been finding it difficult to score goals of recent, because that's all we're doing. We're not trying to do anything else. Now, let's hope when we go against Crystal Palace tomorrow, we see different patterns. We see different ways of trying to get the ball into the box. Do you understand? But listen, this Dubai trip, boy. Listen, this Dubai trip's going to get flipping butchered if these guys don't perform tomorrow. Literally. ESR is like Donny van de Beek version of Arsenal. Spurs scored most from set pieces, I think. They might have scored a lot from set pieces, but I'm talking about Arsenal. Arsenal have scored most of their goals this season from set pieces. This is my point. You know, this is my point. Odegaard at Arsenal, as Arsenal's captain, shows how low we have become as a club. We are not going to win the league. Look, I don't want to disrespect Odegaard. I think Odegaard's a good player. I think he tries to be the captain. He's obviously not the traditional captain that we're all used to obviously having. Big up all the guys in Ethiopia, by the way. But he's not the traditional type captain, but he does have, you know, some leadership qualities. We have to be real. And I do see him try and orchestrate the midfield. I see him try and kind of encourage. I see him trying to keep people, you know, focused on the game. I see him try and do all of that type of thing. And sometimes he does set the right, or he does always set the right example, but he just goes missing in games. And I think that's the big problem for Odegaard. The big problem for Odegaard is not being able to step up as a captain in the most important games, or in those games where you're needed. If everybody else is, you know, stuck in the mud, you need to be the guy that pulls them out of the mud. Do you understand that? That needs to be your role in every single game. And I think that's the only problem Odegaard has. He has that type of problem of not being able to single-handedly carry that team. And that's what a captain needs to do. Whether you're a centre-back, whether you're a centre midfielder, whether you're an attacker, you need to be able to single-handedly carry a team. If you look at all the best captains in world football, you look at all the captains that have won the Premier League, if you look at all the captains that have won major honours, they've all been able to carry their teams, blood. Patrick Vieira was able to carry Arsenal Football Club. Yeah, of course, he had other components that went in, that worked in conjunction with what we were doing, but he was still a player that could carry. You never see Patrick Vieira fade. You would never see Patrick Vieira go missing. Like, it doesn't make sense. It will never happen. Do you know what I mean? And it can be said for all of the big captains. So that's the only kind of question mark I would have over Odegaard being captain. Yeah, Declan Rice for me is a more suited captain, a more tailored captain, to be quite fair, to that traditional type. You know what I mean? So let's see what Mikel Arteta does, or what the next manager does, if we do get a next manager. But of course, you know, obviously we were on the subject of Xavi Simons. It says we're the favourites to sign Xavi Simons from PSG in the summer, according to, you know, fraudulent publications. You know, we were linked with the 20-year-old Dutchman last year, so at the moment it is unclear to me whether this is just recycled rumour or has some legs. And this is obviously the person that's publishing it. But I don't believe in the publication, so I'm not too sure how true it is that Arsenal are the favourites for Xavi Simons. I would like to believe it is the case. I would like to see Xavi Simons at Arsenal. This is another player, actually, Antonio Nusa, who is good friends with Haaland and Martin Odegaard, because he plays for them for Norway, right? Fabrizio Romano has just published that Tottenham are on the verge of trying to get this one done. So Tottenham are coming close to agreeing a bit, or putting a bid down, or agreeing some sort of fee with a player. Or if they're putting bids on the table, then they must have something on the table with the player, really, isn't it? Because no one's putting bid down. It bids down if they haven't. It says here talks are taking place between Tottenham and Club Brugge for talent Antonio Nusa. There's no formal bid yet, but a deal is on. Understand Nusa doesn't want to leave in January. Deal could be done now, but for the summer, many clubs keen. Spurs now push him. So yeah, this is another player that was on our list of targets. We haven't spoken about him for quite some time. I don't think it was serious, maybe because of the connection with Martin Odegaard. The media just linked him to Arsenal. I mean, that would make a lot of sense. But he looks like he could be joining Tottenham, or he could be leaving Club Brugge. The only stumbling block is that January move. Would he be open to joining Tottenham in the January transfer window or in the summer? Tottenham have been active, man. They're trying to get players over the line. I wish Arsenal was as active. Like, are we there yet? I can't see these dons. Like, they're literally just no barbecues, no nothing. There's nothing taking place, bro. Like, and I am slightly worried. You know, I am worried. But at the same time, I'm worried, but I'm not worried. I'm worried because I feel like, damn, and our chances again of winning the title are not going to happen. And now we're going to have to wait a whole 18 months. If we decide today that, all right, cool, our title chances are over, then we have to wait another 18 months before we can see if we're going to win the title or not, or see who wins the next title, should I say. I don't want to wait, bro. I don't want to wait, man. So that's why I'm worried, because I want that to be this year. But then at the same time, I'm slightly optimistic because about the future. I'm optimistic about what's going on at Arsenal at this moment in time, and Arteta potentially getting that sack, because it means that if this continues, and if he does get sacked, then we do have a new manager. We get that new manager. Who would that manager be? Obviously, nobody knows, but we would be so I think a lot of people would be gassed. I think even the Arteta lover boys that will eventually come to terms with the fact that your manager's been sacked will then be open to this new process and a new manager and it'll be exciting time again. Bearing in mind, we do have a good starting 11 for a new manager to come in. We just have to hope that this P&S problem that we have isn't going to affect that moving forward, because if we can't sort it out, like I said to you guys already, we're going to have to sell players. That's just how it's going to have to work. It's going to have to work that way. And who will be the players that Arsenal sell? We don't know. But it probably will be top players. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, we've got the goal talking about Arsenal considering this Benzema situation. But again, I'd take it with a pinch of salt. I don't really buy into this one here, to be quite fair, ladies and gentlemen. I think this one with Benzema is just, I would love to see it happen. It's a dream of ours. We'd love to get him on loan. We know this is the type of player that will change our fortunes this season. Like, Benzema ain't going to come in and do Eddie Nketiah, is he? Especially if we can create the chances that we created against Liverpool. If we were creating the chances that we were creating against West Ham, and we had Benzema in front of goal. Come on, how many goals would we have actually scored? Yeah, we probably would have bagged nearly every one of those chances. All of those Havertz chances that Havertz had, Benzema bagged them. He bagged every single one of them. So that's 3-4 goals. If Benzema come into Arsenal, can you imagine? He'll probably score more league goals in the 6 months than Eddie Nketiah's whole league career, bro. How about that? That's big facts. That's the level that Benzema takes a team to. That's the level Benzema takes your team to. Benzema comes in, and in the space of 6 months, he can probably outscore Eddie Nketiah's whole Arsenal career, bro. And that's not even a joke. Eddie Nketiah has played almost 100 games, or even over 100 games. I think it's less than that. But he's only scored about 14, or I think it's less than 20 goals. Eddie Nketiah's got less than 20 goals. So, yeah, bro. It is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is, boy. The Arteta sexuals will not back the new manager, just like the Wenger hated Emery. I think they'll have no choice, really, will they? I mean, it's a good thing if we get a new manager, because it means those fraudulent fans will have to leave, innit? That's what it means. Those fraudulent fans will have to leave. I can't wait to see the back of those fans. I can't wait. Man's talking about phase 6 and phase 7s, and do you know what I mean? Big up Stephen in the building. I much appreciate you, Stephen. Hope you and the family are doing well as usual. Come on. But yeah, this Benzema thing, that's what I was talking about. Benzema, I don't think this is going to happen, man. I don't think it's going to happen. Benzema probably will leave in January, and I think there will be a big move for Benzema, but I just don't see it being Arsenal. If Arsenal can convince his club to continue to pay his wages, then it's the only way it is going to happen. It's the only way. So I don't see that happening, man. 4 million a week. I don't think anyone can afford that. Who can afford 4 million a week? Doesn't make any sense. Another interesting thing is Rob Holding coming out talking. You've got Rob Holding talking nonsense. I don't know where Rob Holding has been, but he's talking nonsense. Man's talking about William Saliba. It's like, oh, I never see William Saliba in the gym, man. Like, but when he's on the pitch, boy, he's just a beast. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, well, it's called mentality, Rob. Something that you will never have. It's called mentality. Fucking these frauds, man. They can't even play for Crystal Palace. He's out here talking about William Saliba, but get out of it. Man's trying to do PR for Mikel Arteta, bruv. Get out of here. We don't want to hear your shit, bruv. Go and find yourself a club, man. You know, don't wait there. Another disappointing thing I'm hearing, published by Chris Wheatley, is Kieran Tierney wants out of Arsenal Football Club. He wants out. Kieran Tierney doesn't want to return to Arsenal Football Club, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't want to return. So, yeah, it looks like another one that is going to be leaving the club. This will probably be one of the sacrifices. Probably won't get that much money for him. I reckon we're going to see Kieran Tierney go for about 10 million, you know. We're actually going to bump ourselves with Kieran Tierney. We're going to sell Kieran Tierney for about 10 million. 12 million, 15 million at max. I don't think we're going to sell Kieran Tierney for that much money. And Kieran Tierney is going to force a move this summer. He doesn't want to be at Arsenal. He doesn't rate Arteta. Why doesn't anyone rate Arteta? Why doesn't these players that were here before Arteta, the ones that were signed by Emre, the ones that were signed by Unai, wow, did I say that Emre and Unai are two different dons? The ones that were signed by Emre, the ones that were signed by Wenger. You've only got Granit Xhaka and I mean, Saka obviously in the past has, but you've only got like a real small few that have kind of rated Arteta or kind of backed him or said something. You know, even then, like, I don't really think that those players that I've mentioned, I think Granit Xhaka has, but I don't think Granit Xhaka even rated Arteta either. I think Granit Xhaka in his head probably thought, I'm better than this Don. I could probably do a better job than this Don. But you know what? Whilst I'm here, because he's giving me the role to be that guy and be that leader, I'm going to use it. I'm going to take advantage of it, and I'm going to get everyone in order. And Xhaka was a part of getting everyone in order. You know, he's the one that had order on the pitch. He's the one that gave organization on the pitch, and it's one of the reasons why we played so well last season. I know some people find it hard to believe, and I'm not saying Granit Xhaka was the best players in the world, but ultimately Granit Xhaka was key as to why Arsenal had so much more in midfield last season. But it's funny that all of the players that were here before Arteta are really not fond of Arteta. They're not really fond of him, you know. And it's mad. It's just so weird. It's just so weird, you know. How can all these players and just, you know, people sit here and talk about, oh yeah, you know, like, because I've even deceived myself. Like, I've even deceived myself because, like, I can say, like, there's a togetherness, and I've said it on streams before. There's a togetherness, there's a unity. You know, there's a brand new culture at Arsenal Football Club. But when we're talking about building cultures and we're talking about change the culture, there's a way of changing a culture, or there's a way instead of kind of just ripping up the whole spreadsheet and starting again. You know, there's managers in the past, a load of managers in the past that have gone into negative, toxic dressing rooms, and they have changed that dressing room round, changed the way they think, changed the way they feel, and they've gone on to win trophies. Arsene Wenger's done it. Jose Mourinho's done it. You know, a number of managers have done it. We could be here for days. Rafa Benitez has done it. We could be here for days going through the different managers that have actually gone into teams and really changed the culture of the football club and turned them into winners. Load of managers have done it without having to rip up the whole squads to do it. So on that basis, the culture that's been changed at Arsenal by Arteta is slightly fraudulent. I have to big up the togetherness of the new players, the fact that there's a number of new players that have come to the squad. There's a number of players that were already in the squad, young players that have kind of bought into the process and backed what's going on, and they have kind of brought a new lease of life to Arsenal Football Club. But, you know, I can't really credit Arteta for fully changing the culture when he cheated. He cheated, guys. He cheated. He ripped up the whole squad, and that's how he changed the culture. Everybody that come in after that then followed the footsteps that he took from there. I mean, that's an easier way of doing it. a real way of doing it, the real way of doing it, like the real managers do, like real managers with man management, because man management is how real managers win trophies. Pep Guardiola's got man management. Jose Mourinho, man management. Jurgen Klopp, man management. These have all got world-class qualities in terms of managing players, okay? Arteta doesn't have that. And therefore, just on that basis, how do you expect this guy to manage players and win trophies on a consistent basis? It will never work. Never. Never. You man are clutching at straws, blood. You man are clutching at straws. The guy has put man in financial he put man in financial uncertainty. You know, this project has put man in financial uncertainty to the point where we can't buy players, blood, yeah? And if we don't alleviate that pressure, how do we buy players? How do we? What do we do? Come on, this guy is a fraud. Big up Aiden, I see you, my bro. Ski, I see you. Arteta was like Pep if they don't like you. Look, man, Arteta hasn't got any given right to actually even have that type of attitude, firstly. Who does Arteta think he is? If Pep walks into a dressing room, Pep's got a CV that is longer than most people's money in this chat, yeah? Come on, let's be real. Super duper long. It's got a very, very long CV. He has got the right to walk into a dressing room and look around, smell and see, all right, cool. If this doesn't work, then I'll get rid of you. Because why? The system that he brings works. What I bring to a football club works. Do you understand? What I bring to a football club works. So at that, if what I bring to a football club works, then you man have to then listen to me. If he doesn't work, I need him gone. Because what I bring works. Mikel Arteta hasn't proven anything to anyone. So therefore, how can you just have the right to say, oh, what I bring works, so if you don't work in what I bring, you need to go? No. That is insane. That is insane. And anyone that backed that, anyone that was happy to say, you know what, yeah, I'll accept that, you are insane. And you are the reason as to why Arsenal are in this P&S situation right now. Yeah, we can't spend money because of your mediocrity, blood, and the fact that you was open to accepting these type of decisions. It is embarrassing. Embarrassing. Mikel Arteta is a nobody. Mikel Arteta had no given right to come in and rip the squad to shit. And then after 4 years, still not be in a position to deliver us the trophy. And when I say the trophy, we're talking about the title, yeah? That is absolute bullshit. He has no right. Please stop talking about Pep as well, yeah? Pep is on a different level, bro. Different level. Pep earned the right to walk into a Man City team and say, you and you are not good enough, get out. Mikel Arteta has never earned that right. Never earned that right to do that. What Mikel Arteta needed to do was find a way to make those players work. Make those players work. You can't tell me that an Aubameyang can't work. Even as an owner, if David Dean was the owner, David Dean would have questioned all of those decisions. They would have never have just signed off on it. He would have said, hold on, you're telling me Aubameyang doesn't work. Aubameyang has proven to work for 10 years, bro. No matter what club Aubameyang has been at, he has proven to work for 10 years. Regardless of this Chelsea situation, we wasn't even there yet. Nobody obviously preempted that. And as we know, nobody worked at Chelsea at that point. So we're not blaming Aubameyang or saying Aubameyang was dead or anything based on that Chelsea experience, because nobody worked. However, if you're the owner and you've got your manager coming to you telling you, oh, I need to terminate Aubameyang's contract because he doesn't work. He's late for training, which is your problem, Arteta. How can you blame a guy for being late for training and then terminate his contract for being late for training? You as a manager need to take responsibility. He's late for training because you are not disciplining the situation. You understand it? Terminating the contract doesn't discipline the situation, in my opinion. It doesn't discipline the situation. It just rubs the situation under the carpet. There are other players that probably are taking a piss out of Mikel Arteta, but it ain't being highlighted. because we needed to get the dead wood players, you know, the bad eggs, you know, the negative ones, the toxic ones. We needed to get them out the door. We can't now come back and say, oh, that narrative is being, you know, they can't re-push that narrative again and say, oh, there's toxic players at Arsenal. There probably is toxic players still at Arsenal. There probably is. There probably is players that are losing their attitude. You know? But at the end of the day, a player's not turning up, a player's running late, or whatever the case may have been with Aubameyang, you as a manager have the ability to manage. And that's how we knew. You see, when they made those decisions to terminate Aubameyang, to do whatever they've done with all of those players, that proved to me that not only are these guys incompetent at making sales and actually selling players, but they're actually incompetent at man managing. This guy can't man manage. This guy, Arteta, cannot man manage. He can't do it. He's too arrogant. He's got too much of an ego. The ego blinds him. The ego and the arrogance blinds him. You know them way there, bro. I'm telling you, it's like his ego's too big. He can't really make the right decisions because he thinks he knows what's best. When really, Arteta, come on, this is what's best. This is the way we need to go. But his arrogance is like, no. That's the type of Don he is. That's the type of Don he is. Give me what I want. Otherwise, we're not getting it done. If you've got that type of attitude, you know, give me what I want or we can't get it done, that's arrogance within itself. That just goes to show you're throwing your toys at the pram. Give me what I want or we can't get it done. What do you mean we can't get it done? When there's a will, there's a way, my guy. When you look at the team that you inherited, there were people say, oh, because Kevin Campbell said to me the other day, oh, well, none of them are winners. Well, yeah, they were winners because they won Mikel Arteta the FA Cup, didn't they? They won the FA Cup in their last season of Arsene Wenger. They got to a Europa League final and they tried to win. Obviously, the better team won. It is what it is. So when you talk about the players that he inherited, the players that Mikel Arteta inherited were actually players that have actually got to the line. That got to the line. Some of those players got to the line with Arsene Wenger in 2016 as well. They've done more than what any of the players that you've brought in have done. Has Benjamin White ever been to the line? Has he ever been to a final? No. Has he ever been, as Ramsdale ever been to over the line or to a final? No. Has Odegaard been over the line or to a final as the main player instead of being some guy that plays for the team that's not even involved? No. As you know what I mean? You only got Jesus and Zinchenko that you brought in of recently and Declan Rice of recent winning the Conference League that have more or less gone over the line. They're the ones that have gone over the line. No one else has gone over the line. Do you understand? But then you compare that to the other players that we had. What you're telling me, David Luiz wasn't a serial winner. You're telling me Aubameyang wasn't one of the top goal scorers in Europe for 5+ years. Golden Boot winner the season prior. So like, there's so many things that you can say that it could have worked, but the reason it didn't work is because the manager doesn't have any man management ability. He doesn't know how to man manage. Oh yeah, all of these top gooners don't know nothing about football, so they don't understand that. They don't understand that Mikel Arteta doesn't know how to man manage. Hence why he couldn't get David Luiz on side. Hence why even Danny Ceballos didn't even want to get on side. Hence why he couldn't get Aubameyang on side. Hence why he couldn't get Lacazette on side. Hence why he couldn't get Mesut Ozil on side. How many names do we have to fucking run through here, bro? The names that we're mentioning as well, they're players that have been there and done it. So, you know, you can't say these are not guys that are taking teams over the line. Come on, bro. We've got to stop capping. We've got to stop capping for this manager. Anyway, I can't even ramble on for too long. I've got to shoot off to go to the barbers anyway, man, and get my hair cut. I need to rebrush it, man. But you know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen, bro. Like, you know what I mean? This is an absolute joke, bro. These managers talking nonsense for the sake of talking nonsense. Aubameyang's contract was rightfully terminated, but not replacing Aubameyang was criminal offence. It wasn't rightly terminated. How is it rightfully terminated? What did Aubameyang do to have his contract of 350k rightly terminated? Because he missed training. Oh, because he went to go and see his sick mum, and he come back the next morning instead of the evening. That's why he deserved his termination of contract. Is that what you're telling me? Kenny, allow it, bro. Kenny, allow it, bro. Stop it. Stop it. You're telling me Aubameyang deserved his contract terminated because he went to go and see sick mum, and instead of coming back at 6 o'clock, he come back at 10 o'clock. And he deserved his contract to be terminated. We've got Willian in lockdown, flying into fucking Salt Bay, and he's playing in the next game. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Breaking rules, breaking lockdown rules. Man's flying to Dubai, breaking lockdown rules, and he gets to play the next game. And you're telling me my man went to go and visit his mum who was ill. He came back a couple of hours late, and he deserved his contract to be terminated. Is that what you're telling me? Because Aubameyang done nothing wrong. There was bare media PR. They PR'd this bullshit with Aubameyang. They turned the fans against Aubameyang. Aubameyang done nothing wrong, bro. Nothing wrong. If you're going to sit there and start telling me, oh, but he was late in the North London derby. If you're going to sit there and like, oh, that's all cool. He was late in the North London derby. I can understand that. I don't accept that. Aubameyang, over here, my guy. Why are you late? You know what? 350K? Next week, you ain't getting paid, my G, all right? You can never be late as a captain for this club. Okay? That's it. Done. Never going to be late again. You think if I take your 350K away from you, I'll take 2 of them away from you. How about that? 2 weeks worth of P away. Yeah? And I'm going to drop you for the next game. You really think this guy's going to try and be late again? I'm telling you now, we're talking about culture. We're talking about all this bullshit. It's bullshit. It was a facade. The culture changed because we ripped up the whole squad. We chucked it in a bin and we brought in new players. Of course the culture's going to change. Of course it is. The problem for Mikel Arteta was his man management ability. He couldn't manage any of these players, which is the reason why Aubameyang ultimately had a problem with him. Because he didn't believe in the manager. And so did Lacazette. Why wouldn't Lacazette not believe in the manager? You know? Why would Matteo Guendouzi, why would all of these players not believe in the manager? All these guys do is want to play. And we're talking about a manager that has no experience. Oh, doesn't this all kind of... Can't we put 2 and 2 together? No, we're not going to put 2 and 2 together because we're so delusional. We're going to believe that the players are the problem and Arteta is the fucking God. Arteta is the savior. Arteta is taking us out of the dirt. Arteta isn't taking us out of no dirt. He hasn't taken us out of no dirt. He's the guy that put us in the dirt. He's the guy that took us 15th. He's the guy that took us 8th and 5th. Nobody else. Before that, we wasn't finishing 8th, was we? Was we finishing 8th before Arteta coming? Did Arsene Wenger have us sitting 8th? With apparently a worse squad. Did he? No, he didn't. He didn't. Did Unai Emery finish 8th? He was sacked when Arsenal finished 8th. I understand. But he got sacked in November. The season doesn't finish in November. Oh, yeah, to Arsenal fans, it finishes in December when you're sitting at the top of the Christmas tree. Yeah. We've won the league. Fucking frauds, blood. All over the place. Delusion. Just straight bullshit. Straight bullshit. Wax, I don't agree with the Aubameyang contract being terminated. Willian contract should have been terminated for traveling to Brazil during lockdown. That was unacceptable. You know, even with the maddest thing is with Willian's contract wasn't even terminated because Arteta wanted to terminate it. Willian's contract was terminated because Willian wanted to terminate it. Imagine that. And he actually said to Arsenal, don't worry, I don't want none of your money, bro. I don't want none of your money. I just want to get the fuck out of it. How can a manager make a player feel like that? And look at him now with Marco Silva cooking that nothing ever happened. Why? Like people, you know what frustrates me, right? You know what really frustrates me? Well, I can't even get my words out sometimes. So I'm thinking so much. And when I think about it, it just kills my brain cells, blood. And I can't even get my words out. But people just they're so more focused on the player. They don't actually look at everything else that goes into play. And this is the reason why I educate you. This is the reason why I educate you on the financial side, the business side of this. And I've been giving you the understanding of the business side of Arsenal and how that works and why the decisions that Mikel Arteta are making are detrimental to the business side of what we're doing. But, you know, we're now looking at the actual squad. We're looking at the things that qualify a manager. We're looking at all of the qualities that qualify a manager and tell us as a manager, tell us as fans that, yeah, this is a manager that can carry you over the line. And this is a manager that can make you a success. Mikel Arteta hasn't proven that not once. You can't tell me, all right, cool, scoring 88 goals because it's the most goals we've ever scored in a Premier League. That is enough evidence to prove that Mikel Arteta has got it to take us over the line, because it's not. That ain't enough evidence to outweigh the bullshit that he has done at the club. You can't tell me, oh, because we scored 88 goals last season and because we finished second, those two things outweigh all of the bullshit that he has actually done at the club. And then people, and when you do that, people will start giving you context. Oh, yeah, but it was toxic. Well, why was it toxic? Why was it toxic? Let me tell you something. Let's just clear something up right now, ladies and gentlemen. I want to clear something up right now. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about. Big up every single one of you. The Arsenal dressing room was deemed as toxic. Deemed as toxic, right? The players were negative. The players were toxic. Well, you know what? Look in the mirror. Look into the fucking mirror. Every single one of you. Everyone in the chat. Every single Arsenal fan. I want you to stand up and look in the mirror. And tell yourself, was the players toxic? Or was it the fan base that was toxic? Yeah. That's the question you have to ask yourself. The players were never toxic. The players were never negative. The fans were. The fans were negative from the back end of Arsene Wenger all the way up until they were PR'd into backing Mikel Arteta. You, man, were the toxic ones. I can actually even say I was involved in that. I was involved in it. Yeah, I was involved in it. Shamelessly. But the true fact of the matter is the toxic and the negative energy stem from the fans. Hence why Xhaka was never been able to play football at Arsenal. Hence why Mustafi looked like a slap dog after a season at Arsenal. Hence why everyone eventually crumbled at Arsenal. It was never the players. The players were never the problem. Yeah, we can say there were individual players that wasn't deemed good enough. Of course, that's the case. It's going to be the case of everyone. You look at all teams. You look at Man City's team right now, there's one or two players there that are probably not deemed good enough by the Man City fans. But ultimately, the toxic behavior, the negative behavior, that was all Arsenal fans. That was all Arsenal fans. It was never the players. It was just transferred to the players because you guys, or us guys, are in the stadiums, letting our voices be heard on YouTube. We're doing X, Y, and Z. The fans were the toxic ones. The fans were desperate. The fans didn't want top four anymore. The fans were in dire need of something different, of change. So because of that mentality, it automatically brought toxicity. I can't even get it all out. And negativity. It brought all of that with it. And that just reflected on players and everything else at the club. And then there's no negativity. There's no negativity now, though. Yeah, there's no negativity now, bro, because everyone's being PR to back a process that is fake. The project that we're talking about, Mo, is fake. There isn't no negativity. There is definitely a lot of negativity. There is still people demanding for better. There are still people holding the standards high, trying to keep these guys accountable. The problem right now is that everybody's grasped at straws for this process. Everybody has been PR'd to back this process. But ultimately, they've been backing up the project blindly, because if you look at the data and you look at the finances and you look at everything that comes with this project, we are in debt and we have no return on investment, whether it's through players or whether it's through trophies. We have nothing from this project. And up until this point, including the transfers, including the wages, including the agency fees, including these trips to Dubai, including everything, every single penny that has been spent on this project, which has to be accounted for, takes this project over £1 billion. So we are £1 billion+ into this project, into funding this project, and you are telling me that we are nowhere near winning the Premier League. Okay. And we're going to continue with the shambles. Are we going to continue with this? The fans are going to find context to continue with this. Okay. Anyway, we've proved our point so many times this week. I think you should go and check out all the streams, because I've let people know. I keep people up to date with everything. Go and find it out. Go and find it for yourself. I need to go now. I've got 5 minutes to jump into my outfit and then fly to West End to go and get my haircut. Okay, so let me get out of it. 3 more comments and I'm done. Yardman said Arteta tried to build 32 William. Arteta loved Chelsea's circus players. Listen, Arteta doesn't know what players to actually identify. It's just like luck. Luck. Oh, I hope. He ain't really identifying players. Big up Mo says, I'm optimistic and believe Arteta and the team can change the season around, but we need to sign a striker and a CM in January to help us. Well, you're right. I mean, there is a chance that the season can be turned around, but the reason why we can't sign a striker and a CM in January is because of your manager's project. I'm saying we can't sign any players in January because of the manager's project. The manager's project has got us into over £1 billion worth of debt. Kai Havertz is on £280,000 per week on a 5-year contract. You work that out over a course of 5 years, how much he's earning. That's a part of the project. Yeah, we are in debt. We need results. We need ROI. Okay, if Arteta can't deliver that by the end of this season, he has to go. There's no if, buts, maybes, context, this, that. No, there's none of that. There's none of that. Context can only be looked at if Arsenal finish second. If we don't finish second, I don't expect any Arsenal fan to be telling me about context. But anyway, I'm gone. Make sure we are hitting the like button. Do subscribe to the channel if we are new. Turn the notification bells on. All of that type of stuff. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Peace.